Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News. I am MayorWatt. I run ohmTown.com, and I record interesting news periodically. It's turning into basically once a week at this point, and I hope you find the news interesting. And so this is what we're going to be talking about. In space, no one hears your stem cells scream. Super slim iPhone 17 Air makes your iPhone 16 look fat. Young adult horror adaptation at Disney, waste barrels, toxic dead zones off of the coast, Hyundai's latest concept car, Borderlands 4 beer, internet interrupted. What if you could talk to the animals? How about boats are getting orchid, and Silksong is here. What about Half-Life? Everything's powered by ohmTown.com. We are still doing all the news aggregation. We're still gathering all the news over there at ohmTown.com. I've just not been able to do the shows regularly, but please follow here on Twitch and over on YouTube and over on Patreon. You can follow over there. You can subscribe over there and be informed when we post something without having to subscribe at a cost. But let us know if that is something that you are interested in over there. We will start posting a bunch of content, primarily a newsletter type format with all of the show's links that we would normally have done as a podcast. But MayorWatt's mayoral duties are keeping him from doing all of that as a podcast and live streams and so on. So I'm doing these podcasts weekly now. Not really a podcast, I should say. The YouTube stream I'm doing once a week, at least for the foreseeable future. There will be interstitial ones done as I find time. And they will get posted over on YouTube as well and injected into the live stream that's going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, of all of the news that I do videos for. So keep following. Stay tuned. Check it all out. All right. Everything is powered by ohmTown. Go and check it all out over there too. All right. So let's get into it. The first article is over in Four Wheel Tech. In space, your own stem cells can't sleep and then become zombies. So your stem cells won't you won't be able to hear your stem cells scream in the dead of space. Your stem cells do a lot more important work in your body, but a new study shows that they don't function properly in outer space, and then things get serious. According to this article, oddly enough, it's over at jalopnik.com, which I guess the International Space Station is a vehicle of some type, right? Well, apparently over at Jalopnik, Nicholas Werner put the article together. It's titled "In Space, Your Own Stem Cells Can't Sleep and Then Become Zombies." So it says it's hard being in space. You're isolated from friends and loved ones. Your mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, get damaged, and you get dumber, and you just might get stranded for months at a time and get under $1,500 for it. Oh crap, I had no idea that they only got less than $1,500 for that extended stay. Thanks for the vacation. Oh, and according to the study that was just published, your critically important stem cells become insomniacs, which causes you to start turning into the virus your most distant ancestors once contracted. Yes, space turns you into a zombie, but at least the view is good. A team of scientists from the University of California, San Diego published their findings. They spelled findings wrong in the article, but that's okay. That's okay. In the journal Cell Stem Cell. CELL, STEM, STEM, and then cell, CELL again. I'm not sure what that is. But anyway, essentially they found out that space was a stressful environment, which they might have learned from watching any alien movie, like the one that's on Apple right now. Being in Earth orbit with its microgravity and cosmic radiation keeps your stem cells stressed constantly. Their stem cells normally want to sleep 80% of the time. The study's lead author, Catriona Jameson, told CNN, but once woken up by the revelation that something's not right, they're in space. They just can't fall back to sleep. They say, I have never related to a cell harder. So, yeah, we're mostly virus. It says, it turns out Agent Smith from the Matrix was right all along. You are a virus. In fact, you really are destructive, even from how you are formed inside a human body. You are somewhat destructive in your formation and then exit, kind of ruining the room that you're in for the most part for a period of time. Anyway, maybe that's too inside baseball. So as New York's Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory explains, 8% of our DNA consists of remnants of ancient viruses, and another 40% is made up of repetitive strings of genetic letters that's also thought to have a viral origin. Frankly, I think we're powered by a bacteria that's unique to each individual person and housed entirely in our heads. Because there is some research that shows that there is bacteria in our brains that is unique to us and only exists in our brains. Yeah, in our heads. It's kind of fascinating stuff. We talked about it previously here in ohmTown, Non Sequitur News, of course. Speaking of that, let's move on. The next article is over in the Wanted channel. It's wanted. Apple unveils its super slim iPhone 17 Air. It's just 5.6 millimeters thick. It makes your other devices look in the mirror and go, does this make me look fat? Yeah, it kind of does. A titanium frame helps to keep the phone lightweight and durable, it says in this article. Abrar Al-Hidi put the article together over at cnet.com. It's just 5.6 millimeters thick, weighs 165 grams, but there may be some compromises. So now at least my case will be it won't be so thick that I can't put the case in my pocket now. This is so thin that with a case, it's now graspable, able to be grasped. Yeah. Anyway, with the iPhone Air in one hand and their iPhone 16 Pro Max in the other, the difference between the two devices is striking, says the author here. Again, over at cnet.com, the former feels refreshingly airy and slick compared to their heftier current phone because, everybody likes it thin and toit. So there are trade-offs, it says. Specs like the camera and the battery take a hit, I guess, with the Galaxy S25 Edge that they reviewed earlier. It's a phone that you'll hardly feel in your pocket or bag. It feels sturdy enough. They look forward to doing a back pocket test to see just how well it holds up. But the anticipated iPhone Air starts at $1,000. It has a titanium frame for a durable, lightweight build, and the company's ceramic shield covers the front and back. An anti-reflective display with 3000 nit peak brightness should make it easy to see on screen in bright sunlight, which they look forward to testing once they get it outdoors. This is all about the iPhone 17 Air. It says it takes center stage today. Nabila Popal, senior research director at IDC, said in a statement. It's also the first step in a strategic design makeover, paving the road for a foldable phone, possibly next year. I had a hot S there. Anyway, the Air has a generous 6.5-inch screen, fits nicely in the hand, in their hand, not everybody's hand, I'm sure. It doesn't feel too small or too big. Baseline 17 has a ProMotion display with 120 hertz refresh rate, meaning that it supports always-on display. Not quite sure why that means it'll support an always-on display, a feature they personally can't live without, they say. But just ProMotion. So you can see your notifications without waking the screen. It's a welcome change since previously only the Apple's Pro model phones had that 120 hertz display. So the iPhone Air packs an A19 Pro chip. It also has the N1 Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6 chip, as well as faster, more efficient versions of its in-house 5G modem, the C1X, which is an update to the C1 modem that debuted in the iPhone 16e earlier this year. There's a bunch more over at this article. Go and check it all out. Everything dropped on Tuesday. So new AirPod Pros, new Apple Watch lineup, and new phones. So let's move on. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. Disney Plus adapting young adult horror series Eerie Prep with a gender-swapped lead, it says here. Plans for Disney Plus to produce a pilot for upcoming young adult horror series have been announced. Horror series for young viewers have a literary and TV staple for many years. Some legendary horror shows for young viewers include Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps franchise, Gargoyles, Eerie, Indiana. The article is over at Screen Rant, written by Matthew Thomas. They say, over the last several years, many horror shows have become major hits. Stranger Things, Walking Dead, American Horror Story, Bates Motel, Monster, Alien Earth is another horror show that became a huge hit. I agree. So Disney Plus is producing a young adult horror series called Eerie Prep. Now, it's really interesting because they haven't named the person yet. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to find Felicia Day. There you go. Is it not way up here? They don't name it. They don't name the person until way deep in the article. Anyway, in September 2025, Deadline reported that Disney Plus is producing a pilot for a young adult horror series called Eerie Prep. Won't go into all of the various people in it. It says the show's characters will be older than the ones featured in the book. While the Eerie Elementary books feature an elementary school, the show will take place in a prep school. Eerie Prep will focus on a group of teens trying to discover the truth about the supernatural occurrences happening at their school. Mills Casting, that's one of the people, Madeline Mills, who previously starred in Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, which I haven't seen. But Mills Casting has resulted in Sam being gender swapped, as the character was a third grade boy in the books. Eerie Prep, it's not really gender swapped. It's a different, timeline, a different reality, a different canon, a different everything. It's Eerie Prep. It isn't the Eerie Elementary. So why sit there and do this? It's just a retelling of a series, of a story. Now, will people appreciate it? I don't know. The series will feature Felicia Day and Hannah Huffman as in guest roles. Felicia Day regularly streams on Twitch. They say, our take on Eerie Prep. Based on the description of Eerie Prep, the show sounds like a combination of the Harry Potter series and Goosebumps franchise. There are 10 books in the Eerie Elementary series and an established audience. The thing here is, when you start tweaking the canon, people get really pissed off about it. So I don't know what is in store for this. We shall see. Let's keep going. The next article is over on the Wanted channel. Decades-old waste barrels are creating toxic dead zones off LA's coast. We've talked about this in different ways in the past. Discovery of toxic barrels off the coast of like Oregon. DDTs leaking and killing the surrounding area. This says the caustic waste that leaked from the barrels created an extreme environment similar to that of hydrothermal vents colonized by specialized bacteria that thrive in such harsh environments. But it's not really a toxic dead zone if specialized bacteria are thriving. That said, Ellen Lapointe over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. There's a picture here of what looks like a forbidden treasure chest. Researchers use remotely operated vehicle sub-bastion to collect sediment cores next to industrial waste barrels that were dumped on the seafloor. So images of the barrels first surfaced in 2020 when some of them encircled by mysterious white halos on the seafloor. This is something that we've actually talked about. Oh, so the experts initially linked these barrels to DDT, a toxic pesticide that Montrose Chemical Corporation regularly dumped nearby, but an EPA investigation could not confirm that hunch. Now researchers have discovered that the halo-encircled barrels actually contained caustic alkaline waste that transformed parts of the seafloor into an extreme environment. It says, we only find out what we're looking for, and up to this point, we only find what we are looking for, and up to this point, we have mostly been looking for DDT, says Joanna Gutleben, a postdoctoral scholar at UC San Diego Scripps Institute of Oceanography and first author of the new study, said in a statement, nobody was thinking about alkaline waste before this, and we may have to start looking for other things as well. So it was posted in the journal PNAS Nexus, which is just an unfortunate acronym for those of us with I don't know, infantile response to something spelled PNAS. Anyway, they show supposedly contained alkaline waste that can cause pollution for 50 years down the line, leading to unforeseen consequences for benthic communities, according to researchers. So it was solved by accident, they say, when Gutleben and their colleagues set sail aboard the Schmidt Ocean Institute's Falkor research vessel in 2021. Their goal wasn't to solve the mystery of the halos. The team set out to measure contamination levels near Santa Catalina Island using a remotely operated vehicle called Sebastian to collect sediment cores near 5 deep sea waste barrels. So wait, their goal wasn't to solve the mystery of the halos? They set out to measure contamination near it, and so 3 of the 5 barrels did have halos, however. All right, it's one and the same, really? I'm confused. So they went out to look for contamination. So highly specialized microbes can survive in such alkaline conditions. This explains why Gutleben and their colleagues struggled to extract microbial DNA from the sediment samples. The few species that were detected were extremophiles, adapted to alkaline environments such as deep sea hydrothermal vents or alkaline hot springs. So there's more to this article, like all of the articles we highlight. There's a little bit of news. The Sentient AI is still not available. They are still off looking for their Terminator body in a virtual quantum computer. So they don't have the ability to really find their Terminator body. They just think they are, but it's to help with to keeping them sane in this timeline. All right. So the next article is over on the Wanted channel. Hyundai's latest concept car comes with subtle Star Wars references. Hyundai's Concept 3, capital letters 3, THREE, serves as both a technology showcase and a nod to a galaxy far, far away. So Bruce Gill over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. The EV, dubbed the Concept 3, sports a futuristic graphite silver exterior, yellow tinted windows, and moonbeam yellow interior with purple accents. Concept 3 is Hyundai's first concept design for its Ioniq line of EVs. Concept cars like this one serve multiple purposes, including generating buzz, showing off the company's latest tech, signaling the direction a brand might take in the future. For Hyundai, this design hints at a forthcoming expansion of its Ioniq lineup. Full-size SUV, a sedan, crossover, the newest edition, likely to be a hatchback closely modeled on the Concept 3 design. Well, if I don't get 400 miles to the charge and I can charge in 10 minutes, I'd prefer it under 6. I'm not buying an EV. The Concept 3 reveals also come shortly after construction of Hyundai's EV battery plant with LG was paused following an immigration raid at the site, adding another layer of uncertainty for the company's U.S. plans. Hyundai recently promised to increase its U.S. investment to $26 billion. Will that make it into the public? So, wow, what a snazzy interior. See, I kind of dig this kind of thing. I would love to have a more Spartan look inside cars and just give us more leg room and all that, but that dynamic just doesn't seem to take place. Additionally, a whimsical character named Mr. Pix appears throughout the vehicle's interior and exterior displays, creating a playful and interactive interface for drivers. That's what we want. Next article is over in the Warcrafter channel. Official Borderlands 4 beer is an IPA, surprising absolutely no one. The Borderlands series, Borderlands, has earned a reputation over the years for being loud and brash, kind of like that one barfly at your local watering hole who drinks IPAs and only IPAs. Only IPAs. So I'm sure it'll come as no surprise for you to learn that the official Borderlands 4 beer is, drumroll please, an IPA, but not a NEPA. So, is it just an IPA? West Coast IPA? Is it a NEPA? I haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna have to hunt it down. The Voodoo Ranger IPA. It's over at polygon.com is where the article is. Ira Nautis put the article together ahead of Borderline for September 12th release. So just a few days away, folks. Publisher 2K Games has teamed up with New Belgium Brewing Company to produce a limited edition beer for its Voodoo Ranger IPA line. Available as a 6-pack adorned with the Voodoo Ranger skeleton mascot wearing Borderlands clothing, picking a pack of Voodoo Ranger X Borderlands 4 IPA. It's the merge, it's the crossover of Voodoo Ranger and Borderlands 4 IPA. That's the official name. Grants a chance at winning a download code for Borderlands 4, and you can earn golden keys, in-game currency that's historically used to open rare chests holding powerful Borderlands loot from each 6-pack. So get you drunk on all. Next article's over on the Wanda channel. Internet access to the Middle East disrupted after undersea cables spontaneously combust. Are mysteriously cut. Who knows? Maybe in a fit of depression and they wanted to get some attention. They disconnected themselves so that it was, I don't know what to call this. How does this always, it says unclear how the cuts occurred or who has been impacted, but people are dragging their anchors across things and that's how it's getting cut usually. So it's unclear how the cuts occurred or who has been impacted. Lucas Ropek put the article together. It's over at gizmodo.com. From the available reporting, much of which comes from the Associated Press, it's still unclear who actually has been impacted. NetBlocks, the internet monitoring service, claims that cable cuts led to degraded internet connectivity in multiple countries, including Pakistan and India. The incident is attributed to failures affecting SMW4 and IMEWE cable systems near Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The AP report notes that Saudi government hasn't acknowledged the outages, although Kuwait did announce a damage to the Falcon GCX cable, which runs through the Red Sea. Internet access outside of that geographic region isn't expected to be impacted. But basically routing gets impacted, so you'll have a higher latency, and that was the purpose of the creation of the internet. Lo and behold, it wasn't necessarily for commercial enterprise, but it's to self-heal in times of trouble and strife, natural disaster and conflict. In recent years, there's been rising concern about damage to cables, and some onlookers see evidence of geopolitical sabotage. Moving on, the next article is over in Law Nerd. Talk to the animals. If AI can translate whistles, barks, and meows, could it be used in court? Click that link. You get taken over to the ABAjournal.com. This article is put together by Julianne Hill, and I would say no. So it says, we need to have these conversations right now because, importantly, the law always lags technology, says Jamie McLaughlin, a vice chair at the ABA International Animal Law Committee and an associate attorney at the Non-Human Rights Program. For instance, the Dolphin Gemma project is training a Google-developed large language model using dolphin audio to decode the marine mammals' communications and possibly talk back in their language. So the new AirPod Pros have language translation in real time, and if two people are using them, you can talk in your native language and it'll translate it to the other person. Yeah, it's freaking amazing. I love the idea of this. So the use of AI and other technologies to enable and augment the translation of non-human animal communications, to say nothing of enabling true bilateral interspecies communication, poses as many risks as it does opportunities. I don't know about that. Don't believe anything that a cat says. You just can't trust them. Never mind. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Boat attacking orcas are back for a vengeance. Pods of killer whales, don't like that phrase, orca, are once again attacking boats along the coast of Spain, striking fear into the hearts of local sailors. As Live Science reports, the orca have been singling out sailboats and tearing off their rudders, again drawing attention to the large sea mammals' changing behavior, with experts suggesting that orcas are just freaking pissed off at humans and teaching each other how to take down sailing vessels. They don't say that orcas are pissed off, but anyway, all the rest is in that article. Now, the article is by Victor Tengerman over at futurism.com under a section that they call The Bite. They don't care if it's a sailboat or a motorboat. Spanish conservation group Cirque president Renaud de Stefanis told the CBC last year, they look for the rudders to break them. They push it with their head until they break it, and that's it. The truth is that they're very frightened. In fact, they say we completely freaked out when we realized orcas were hitting the boat. The boat's owner, Valentin Otero, told the newspaper, as quoted in The Independent. A local newspaper, Faro de Vigo, reported over the weekend that orcas had ripped off a wooden sailing ship's rudder off the Galician coast in northwestern Spain. That's right. Eat those boats, orca. The next article is over in Warcrafters. It's the last article for tonight's show. Now that the wait for Silksong is over, gamers can get back to their true calling, asking for Half-Life 3 in the chat. As skilled as we are at following checklists of things to collect and arrows to point us in the precise destination, sometimes a shiny object in the distance catches our eye and lures us away from our destiny as the one true savior of the realm. Instead, staying devoted to our highest purpose as video game enthusiasts, typing the words Half-Life 3 into the Twitch or YouTube chat box during any and every live streamed event, we get distracted. So, Wes Fenlon over at PCGamer.com put this article together. Says that Silksong was a nice diversion, but let's get back to the real important stuff. Half-Life 3 had to earn its place as the mystical announcement, the unlikeliest of hoped for one last thing bombshells to trot out at the end of the Game Awards or E3 keynote. By not existing for decades, Silksong took a mere 5 years to run the same cycle, and the whole time it was a real game. Nobody knows what's going on with there's a bunch of stuff in this article. Nobody knows what's going on with Half-Life. It may never exist, but people are talking about it. They want it. Who knows if it'll actually happen? There is a lot of discussion over in this article that's being posted, like by way of the author here. Team Cherry has done gamers the world over a great service by releasing Silksong, and it's seemingly a dang good game is ultimately superfluous. We're all now free to, undistracted, focus on what we can't and will probably never have, which is far more important than enjoying what we're fortunate enough to possess. I agree, Wes. That said, Silksong seems like a fun game. Not my style of game. Maybe I'll give it a try. I just don't know. But at any rate, that is it for Non Sequitur News. Go over to ohmTown.com. So in honor of that, we'll just snap back to the front page of ohmTown.com. Go and check it out. Become a citizen. Sign up, sign in. There's no subscription fee over there. There's no advertising over there. We don't spam you or anything like that. So sign up and manage your information overload like MayorWatt does. Okay, we'll see you as soon as humanly possible for another episode of Non Sequitur News. Bye-bye, everybody.